Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of Colonel David J. Stewart, we welcome you to today's retirement ceremony. Today is part of history as we witness an awards and retirement ceremony honoring Command Sergeant Major Garth D. Newell after 29 years of outstanding service to our great nation. We are pleased that you are with us to share this important event. We would like to acknowledge some of our distinguished visitors, guests, family, friends, and good neighbors of Command Sergeant Major Newell in attendance. Lieutenant General Michelle Bredenkamp, Director's Advisor for Military Affairs, Office of the Director of National Intelligence. Major General Trevor Bredenkamp, Commanding General, Joint Task Force National Capital Region, and the United States Army Military District of Washington. Command Sergeant Major Vern Daly, Command Sergeant Major, Joint Task Force National Capital Region, and United States Military District of Washington. Command Chief Master Sergeant Alvin Dyer, Senior Enlisted Leader, Defense Logistics Agency. Command Sergeant Major Thomas Baird, Senior Enlisted Advisor, National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. Mrs. Holly Doherty, President, Mount Vernon Springfield Chamber of Commerce. We sincerely welcome you to today's ceremony. Please stand for the playing of the national anthem and remain standing for the invocation delivered by Chaplain Major Lee of the United States Army Garrison, Fort Belvoir.
Join me in prayer. Almighty God, we are grateful for the opportunity to reflect on. Thank you for the 29 years of dedicated military service that the Command Sergeant Major Garth Newell has provided to the United States Army and the country he loved and served. We appreciate his long-term contribution and his loyalty to our Army family, and his willingness to share his experience and wisdom with the next generation of the armed forces. Grant thy faithful servant, Command Sergeant Newell and his wife Julie, and their 6 children, enough happiness to keep them thoughtful, enough challenge to keep them strong, enough hope to keep them joyful, enough success to keep them eager, enough friends to provide comfort, enough wealth to meet their needs, enough enthusiasm to look forward to tomorrow, and enough determination to make each day better than the past. We thank you for Command Sergeant Major Newell and his family, who demonstrate us for the path of patriotism and also support his mission for the Army. I pray that you be with the Command Sergeant Newell and his wife, helping them really make a smooth transition to civilian life, and continue to bless them. We ask for your blessing upon Fort Belvoir Garrison Command Team, soldier and DA civilian, and their family, who continue to serve our great nation in the Army. In your holy name, amen.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the host of today's ceremony and Commander of the United States Army Garrison, Fort Belvoir, Colonel David J. Stewart.
Ladies and gentlemen, soldiers, family, friends, and Fort Belvoir team, I want to thank you for attending today's retirement ceremony. We have several special guests I'd like to recognize, beginning with Lieutenant General Michelle Greencamp, Major General Trevor Greencamp, Command Sergeant Major Vern Daly, Command Chief Master Sergeant Alvin Dyer, Command Sergeant Major Thomas Baird, and Supervisor Victor Henry. So thank you all for joining us this morning. It's my honor to welcome you all as we gather here to celebrate Command Sergeant Major Newell's 32 years of dedicated service to our nation. Throughout his illustrious career, Command Sergeant Major Newell has exemplified the highest standards of leadership, integrity, and excellence. From his early days as a young soldier to his pivotal role in shaping tomorrow's leaders, his impact to our Army is immeasurable. We also recognize the service and steadfast support of his family, especially his wife, Julie, and their 6 children whose sacrifices have enabled him to serve this great nation with distinction. Today, we not only honor a remarkable soldier, but we also celebrate the beginning of Garth's next chapter in life. Thank you for being here to honor Command Sergeant Major Newell. Please join me in thanking him for his unparalleled service.
The retirement ceremony is an old and time-honored custom. In days gone by, when soldiers retired, their entire regiment turned out to honor them with a farewell review. In keeping with this custom, we join today to recognize the career of Command Sergeant Major Newell, who has served his country with honor, duty, and devotion. Command Sergeant Major Newell has stood his post for over 29 years of faithful service. His final assignment was as the United States Army Garrison, Fort Belvoir Command Sergeant Major. Upon retirement, Command Sergeant Major Newell will reside in Spring Lake, Arkansas. Today, we exercise the first general order and properly relieve him of his post as we bid him a fond farewell. Although we cannot repay him for his service, we stand with him today to salute him and his commitment to our nation. Colonel Joseph Messina will officiate today's retirement ceremony. As many of you know, Colonel Messina was the previous garrison commander and was the commander during Command Sergeant Major Newell's time as the garrison Command Sergeant Major here at Fort Belvoir. Colonel Messina's bio can be found in today's program, and I encourage everyone to read it. He currently serves as the Chief, Strategic Initiatives Group, Assistant Secretary of the Army, Manpower and Reserve Affairs, and the Army G1. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Colonel Joseph D. Messina.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Lieutenant General, Major General Camp, I almost said I, my apologies. Thank you both for coming today. I know it means a tremendous amount to Garth and the rest of our distinguished visitors. Thank you all for coming. All the family and friends that are here today, it means a lot that you're here to recognize Garth's service to our country. I'm going to kind of take this in 4 short phases. I'm going to talk a little bit about his family, his time as a Command Sergeant Major, his time growing up in the NCO Corps, and then finally talk a little bit about my personal interactions with Garth. So bear with me. To start off with, we need a huge round of applause for Julie and the 6 boys, please. Kesley, Dallin, Elijah, Josiah, and his wife Shelby, Ammon, Nathaniel, and Julie's mother-in-law is here today. Ma'am, thank you for joining us. Linda Peterson, really do appreciate it. I think most of the boys are watching online today. So, just like lots of military families, but exponentially so, Julie handled the military in a way that most of us can't really comprehend for those of us that are in the Army. And by that I mean 19 moves in these 29 plus years, with Garth deployed many of the moves during many of those moves. Julie, so Heather and I, 3 kids at home at one time, split operations, going to baseball games and soccer games, and Julie's doing that with 6 boys. She's taking them to all of the different sporting events, and they all didn't play one sport. Football, basketball, baseball, soccer, the games and the practices, while Garth is out serving his country. She's there as the educator at home. She's the one handling the injuries that boys have, and she's the one handling those looks as the doctors look at her sideways because they have bruises and bumps that 6 boys will acquire while they're at home. She is the person that was the doctor, the nurse, the teacher, the coach, the event planner, the janitor, the cook, the taxi driver, and the referee for those 6 boys on a daily basis while Garth was doing what he was supposed to do for our nation. And I don't think you can overstate how much she has supported our country and served just like Garth has. So Julie, thank you so much for your service. Another round of applause for her. I'm going to read his time as a command sergeant major because I think it's important to recognize what he has done with distinction for more than 29 years. Beginning as a private at Fort Huachuca, Arizona in 1996 and culminating here at Fort Belvoir as the Garrison Command Sergeant Major. Throughout his distinguished career, Command Sergeant Major Newell was assigned to positions that allowed him to bring his talents, skills, and abilities to bear and make lasting impacts on soldiers, the Army, and our nation. He fostered and cultivated superior command climates that welcomed diversity, empowered subordinate, executed missions beyond expectation, and enforced standards and developed future leaders. Garth served as Command Sergeant Major of the 32nd Military Intelligence Battalion in Korea, and there he established a comprehensive leader development program focused on mental and physical development to strengthen leadership skills and professional attributes. Subsequently, Garth was selected to serve as the Intelligence Sergeant Major, U.S. Army Cyber Command here at Fort Belvoir. He reinvigorated the G2 NCO Professional Development Program through sessions with the 1st IO Command, 780th MI Brigade, and Cybercom J2 to enhance intelligence NCO's understanding of how their analysis supported the warfighter on the battlefield and impacts to operations. Sergeant Major Newell's ultimate assignment here, and ultimate commander, was here at Fort Belvoir as the Garrison Command Sergeant Major. Sergeant Major Newell was fully involved with managing Fort Belvoir's privatized housing units. His efforts resulted in his leverage decreased the number of displaced families on a daily basis from 5 or 6 to 1 or 2. And that means we have families in homes, and he was caring for them on a daily basis. He continuously encouraged our partner, the villages, to identify trends and provide solutions to those issues and concerns identified. During his tenure, he administered and strengthened the Village Mayor Program and the Village Sponsorship Program. He also enhanced monthly mayor meetings, whereby he would visit one village a month to discuss specific concerns of the village being visited. Sergeant Major Newell vastly improved communications and transparency throughout the workforce, Fort Belvoir, and our surrounding communities. Using quarterly town hall meetings and the Fort Belvoir semi-annual partner luncheons with over 250 partners, Including local government officials and community leaders, he maintained close contact with key stakeholders and improved the community as a whole. Early in his tenure, Sergeant Major Newell re-energized the Better Opportunities for Single Soldiers program. After 4 years of inactivity coming out of COVID, no full-time president had been appointed, and he immediately fixed that situation. Our single soldiers and our single service members here on Fort Belvoir are better off for Command Sergeant Major's service to this community. Command Sergeant Major Newell wasn't always a Command Sergeant Major, though. As a sergeant, he demonstrated positive take-charge attitude, his platoon leader stated. As a staff sergeant, his platoon sergeant said he set the standard for squad leaders and peers. And his battalion commander, Lieutenant George Scott, said he was a talented and versatile leader. As a Sergeant First Class, Colonel Rob Whalen said he epitomized the standards by which all should be measured. As a Master Sergeant with the NSA, his brigade commander said he was an exceptional role model for young soldiers. When he was a First Sergeant, Colonel Paul Norwood stated that he inspired his peers and subordinates with honesty, hard work, and motivation. And as a Command Sergeant Major, then Major General Bradenkamp called Garth a strategic and compassionate leader. So those are all the comments from other people. From me, working with Garth, I stayed up at night and I put it on my phone because I just didn't have the right venue to do this. I wanted to say thank you, Garth. Thank you for being an awesome partner, for being the perfect partner for me for that year that we were together, for being a friend, for standing the gate with me, for going to check out that tent in the woods. There was a big rock. For taking the hike down the entire Aquitaine Creek to survey the entire creek because of the fuel that had been spilled in it, and hiking with me through that entire process. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you, to say congratulations, to let you know how much I personally appreciate what you have done for our nation for the last 29 plus years. Thank you for your service.
We now invite Command Sergeant Major Mrs. Newell to join Colonel Messina on the stage for a very special recognition of Julie's contributions. We ask that you please remain seated throughout the presentation of awards. Mrs. Newell is being presented a certificate of appreciation from the 41st Chief of Staff of the Army, General Randy A. George. She is also receiving a bouquet of roses as a small token of appreciation from the United States Army Garrison, Fort Belvoir. Thank you. Colonel Messina will now present Command Sergeant Major Newell the Legion of Merit. Attention to orders. To all who shall see these presents greetings. The Legion of Merit is being awarded to Command Sergeant Major Garth D. Newell for exceptionally meritorious service as the United States Army Garrison, Fort Belvoir, Command Sergeant Major, United States Army Garrison, Fort Belvoir, from 1 July 2015 to 30 June 2025. Command Sergeant Major Garth Newell provided leadership, guidance, and mentorship to over 100 organizations within the National Capital Region, while selflessly serving as a workforce of approximately 2,200 service members and civilians. His distinguished performance of duty and accomplishments reflect great credit upon himself, United States Army Garrison, Fort Belvoir, the Military District of Washington, Installation Management Command, and the United States Army. Signed, Omar Jones, Lieutenant General, Commanding. Command Sergeant Major Newell is now receiving a certificate of appreciation from the Commander-in-Chief, President Joseph R. Biden. The certificate reads, I extend my personal gratitude and the sincere appreciation of our grateful nation to you for your patriotic service to our country. Your bravery and dedication in our armed forces help protect your fellow service members during a critical moment in our history and contributed to a world of greater security and growing prosperity. Your devotion to duty, honor, and country, in keeping with the long traditions of the finest military in the world, embody the American ideal of selfless service. Our nation owes you an incredible debt. Your commitment and the example you set will inspire future generations to serve with pride and keep their country secure. You represent the best of our nation, and I join our fellow Americans in saluting your honorable service. I wish you happiness and success in your next chapter. Signed, Joseph R. Biden, Jr., Commander-in-Chief. The flag is also presented as a gesture of thanks from this great nation for the loyalty, dedication, and dedicated service you have displayed over many years of military service. Command Sergeant Major Newell, the nation thanks you. Command Sergeant Major Newell will now receive their certificate of retirement. To all who shall see these, presents greetings. This is to certify that Command Sergeant Major Garth D. Newell, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Army on the 30th day of June, 2025. Signed, Randy A. George, General, United States Army, Chief of Staff. On behalf of a grateful nation, the United States Army proudly salutes Command Sergeant Major Newell and family. Ladies and gentlemen, Command Sergeant Major retired, Garth D. Newell.
Good morning. Give me a second here. I wasn't able to get my speech printed, so I got it on my computer. Staying in the campground, by the way. It's not an excuse, but so just give me a second here. George, awesome campground again. It's served us well a few times now.
Might be dead. Does that mic work?
Got it? There we go. There we go. You guys didn't really want to hear it anyway, did you? It's just an old retired guy's speech. Good morning and thank you to each and every one of you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to attend this bittersweet time for me and my family. I also want to thank each of you online who are viewing this from afar. Your support really means a lot to me. I thank first and foremost God, my Heavenly Father, and His Son, Jesus Christ, my Savior, for the opportunities I've been afforded in the Army, and for the chance to serve with so many of you of whom I love and respect so much. So, Lieutenant General and Major General Bradenkamp, and distinguished guests, members of my beloved family, friends, old and new, and those men and women in uniform here and other places throughout the world whom I've served with, I express my sincere thanks to each and every one of you for being here to share my final day on duty. Colonel Messina, thanks so much for your kind words. Of course, again, they were way overblown, but thank you so much. I also appreciate your presence here today, as well as that of your sweet wife, Heather. Thank you so much for coming. I also thank you for the honor it was to serve by your side as a command team. Again, it was just my pleasure and honor to be able to serve with you as my last command. Just a best way to end my time in the Army. And I'm just so grateful for your friendship, sir. During the 16 months that we were a command team, we dealt with some pretty difficult issues. But as Colin Powell stated in his retirement speech, if the issues were easy, if the problems were so quick to receive a solution, they would have been solved earlier by somebody else. So, of course, there are always too many distinguished guests and friends and family to name everybody, but again, I just want to thank everybody and say welcome. For those who are here and for those who are watching online. I especially thank my family and close friends, some who've traveled far and some who are watching from far away. I once read somewhere, and I've always since believed it, that every individual has at least one opportunity in his or her life to do something great or be a part of something greater. Some recognize it and some do not. Of those who recognize it, not all jump on it, but many do. Close to 30 years ago, I felt like I got that opportunity and recognized it for what it truly was. So I did the right thing, and I asked my gorgeous girlfriend to marry me. Luckily, she said yes, and I've been a part of something great ever since. I've heard many retirees say that it's been the greatest honor of their lives to be a part of this Army, or to serve in this or that position of trust and responsibility. Well, it has been an honor, a great honor, to wear this uniform and to serve in the Army for as long as I have. But the greatest honor of my life has been to be married to Julie K. Newell. Thank you, sweetheart. She's been the rock and is my rock and my greatest support. And I know I would not be where I am without her constant love and devotion to me and our family. So, I always do something different or weird in my speeches. I don't know if you're here for my change of responsibility, but I had to bring up Mary Poppins. I'm not going to do that this time. I promise you I'm not even going to sing. I can't remember the name of the song now, but I do want to do something a little bit different. Since this retirement ceremony isn't really just a retirement ceremony for me, it's for us as a team. And so, my wife, who is just, as Colonel Messina so aptly put it, she's been through this, through thick and thin. She's been here for everything, right alongside me, sometimes standing and holding me up. And so I want to take a moment here and ask her to share a few thoughts from her perspective as an Army wife. So please join me in welcoming my wife to the podium, Julie.
He's gonna have to hold me up, and I can hardly see over. But anyway, when Garth came to me yesterday and mentioned that he'd like me to take a few minutes to say something today, I realized that this was a chance of a lifetime. And I wish I would have thought of it sooner so that I could make a PowerPoint. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, my husband has a lot of faith in me giving me the floor like this. This is a huge transition, and we might miss a few things that we've become accustomed to, like acronyms, as in WITHDTSF, meaning what in the heck does that stand for? And password requirements, it has to be 25 characters long, must have at least one uppercase, one lowercase letter, contain at least one number and 3 symbols. It cannot have any more than 4 characters that match any of the previous passwords you've used in the past 6 months, and it must be changed every 60 days. It also cannot contain your name, a birth date, or any succession of numbers. Do not write it down, you must remember it. We're gonna miss briefings, aren't we? That's a hard one to let go of. Websites that contain links to all the other important websites, except the one you're on is the outdated one. There's a new one and it's super user-friendly. I'm not sure if the mic will pick this up, and I sure hope I have the right file that I'm gonna play. I don't know, can you hear that? That's the sound of brown tape. I recorded it because I never wanted to forget the sound of brown tape, and our cat knows that sound. And also egg omelet on MREs. Do they even make those anymore? I tried it. It was good. We're gonna miss operating hours, like we're open on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and we're closed on Fridays. However, we're open on the first Saturday of every month from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Today, the computers are down though. We apologize for the inconvenience. And, oh, you had plans. That's hilarious. Anyways, there are a lot of things that we'll miss, especially meeting people like you, people we've met over the years. And I also want to personally thank Colonel Messina and his wife Heather, and Colonel Stewart, and CSM Hopkins and his wife Carrie. You can't comprehend the impact that you've had on our lives. You really have made a huge difference, and we really appreciate you. I want to thank my mother, who has selflessly sacrificed for many years and traveled to wherever I was to help under really trying circumstances. And she even came to Germany when Garth was deployed to Iraq, when I had our 6th son, and helped me. I want to thank my parents-in-law for giving me the greatest blessing in my life, my husband. And our boys, daughter-in-law and granddaughter, we've been in this together. And they face disappointment after disappointment when their dad cannot be there without complaining. I can't recall them complaining about that. But most of all, I fought to find the words to express how much I love and appreciate my husband. I've not felt like anything is sufficient. It has been a great honor to be by his side for these 28 years of service, 29 when he officially retired. And I've learned so much from him, and I have had this goal this year to walk 2,024 miles, and he has been such an inspiration to me in that. And one thing that I will say about him is that, I am the kind of person that will find a trail and just keep walking that one trail over and over again, because I'm familiar with it. And he has shown me other trails that I wouldn't have even thought of, and they've turned out to be the most amazing things, and that's how I feel about his service in the military. I've learned more standing by his side than I ever could have imagined, and I just really appreciate and love you, and thank you for taking me on this journey. And I will be saying more at our family gathering to celebrate his retirement as well.
There you have it. That's why they call her my better half. So, where was it?
Almost done.
Almost done. Thank you, sir. I also want to thank Colonel Stewart for your kind words, sir.
Colonel Stewart, I only got to serve with Colonel Stewart for a month, but that was also an awesome month, and I appreciate the honor and the friendship that you showed me, sir, for how you handle business. And it was obvious that you're a great commander, and I appreciate your service, sir. So I've actually had 2 opportunities to be a part of something great, or greater. Maybe they're more than that, actually. I just maybe didn't recognize some of them, I don't know. In 1995, I was a young husband and father. I studied engineering technology and became a land surveyor. And I went to work for a company called Richard Carruthers Associates in Olympia, Washington. It was an awesome job. I loved it. I had a lot of fun doing it. It didn't pay super well right off the bat, but I enjoyed it a lot, and I thought it would be my career path. But it was almost like God was saying, no, Garth, hold on, I got a different path for you. At the end of the year, the state of Washington changed their short plat laws, which that's the law which defines how you can divide up a piece of property. And my boss and his company lost all of his contracts, and so everybody got laid off. And as a young father, at the time, we'd been married a couple years, and we already had 2 children. And so as a young father, I knew we had to do something quick. There was another survey company that still had a couple contracts left over, and we're still working on them, so they hired me to just finish those up. When those jobs ended, though, the work dried up. And though I always had a sort of a little kid G.I. Joe ideal of joining the Army one day, I never actually thought I would do it. I just kind of thought that was just something out there. I do want to say here that my dad had served honorably in the Army during the Korean War and actually served on the Pusan Korean. I was always very proud of my father's service in the Army and in war. And so one day at church, a good friend of mine, who he knew my employment struggles, he approached me. He just happened to be a recruiter. I didn't even realize it until, But he approached me. He was a really good friend, right? He said to me, why don't you come see me in my office tomorrow? And me not knowing anything, but kind of scrambling at this point, I did go see him in his office, and he gave me a really good pitch. And the thing that I wanted to join the Army for at that time, I didn't, because he had another path he wanted me to go down. But Julie and I prayed fervently about it, and we've always felt like we needed to, I always felt like, I can't make a decision in a bubble, and that I needed to involve my sweet wife, who was way wiser than I am, by the way. And we always felt like we needed to involve God. So we prayed about it, and we felt like it was the right thing to do. So it was at this moment when we realized that we had an opportunity, another opportunity to be a part of something greater. So 28 and a half years later, here we are. I want to highlight here as well, like Julie said, our kids for their years of devotion and honor to me, their father, for serving in the greatest fighting force this world has ever known. I wanted more than anything for them to be able to be here. Most of them were unable to make it. But let me just take a few moments and highlight our 6 boys. Kesley, our oldest, and I'm going to try not to embarrass him, but Kesley, our oldest, he's here with us today. He just turned 30. He's an Eagle Scout, served 2-year Christian mission to Washington State. He's a graduate of Brigham Young University, Idaho, with a bachelor's in history and 0 debt. He is currently working on his master's degree in history and secondary education while working and will soon become a teacher and one day a professor. Dallin is about to turn 28. Or is it? Already 28, isn't he? All right. He's also an Eagle Scout. He studied auto mechanics at Northern Virginia Community College and then at Menzies Institute of Technology in Melbourne, Australia, where he graduated with a certificate in auto mechanics. Now, let me just tell you, it's not easy to go be a student in Australia. We didn't know this, but to be a student in Australia, in order for the Australian government to give you a student visa, you have to have $25,000 saved in the bank. It's weird. And we didn't give him a cent of it. He saved it all up himself. So very proud of him for doing that. So he paid for the whole thing and paid for school all by himself. He's currently living in Melbourne, working for a well-known auto shop and doing very well. Josiah is 26, married to the best daughter-in-law, Shelby, and has our only grandchild, a little girl named Amara. I'll say only grandchild because we're expecting our other boys to get married here soon and provide lots and lots of more grandchildren. However, Amara, she's the apple of our family's eye, all of us, and she can do no wrong. She's perfect in every way. So, Josiah, I know you're watching. Remember that. Josiah is also an Eagle Scout. He joined the Army right out of high school as an infantryman. He excelled as a Bradley driver and gunner, and as a weapons specialist for his platoon. He was medically retired in 2021 after a serious injury, and then he attended CDL school and earned his Class A CDL. He now works for a well-known trucking company as a regional truck driver and is regularly the top driver in his company. Elijah is 24. He's an Eagle Scout, served a 2-year Christian service mission to Montana, and is now attending Brigham Young University, Idaho, working on his bachelor's degree in strategic communications. I want to say, when he got his mission call to Montana, we were in Korea at the time. And so he likes to say that he got his call to serve in a foreign country. I guess Montana kind of is, right? So he's also in the university's ROTC program, and he joined the Idaho National Guard as a 35 Fox intelligence analyst. Ammon's 22 years old. He graduated in 2020, a COVID graduation, and has worked in a few jobs since graduation. Faced with major challenges all his life, he's always steadfastly pushed through it all. He currently works for Julie's cousin as a laborer in his construction company and has become one of the top and most reliable employees there. He's also an avid and expert fisherman and resident coyote hunter. He will always outfish anyone and can tell you anything you need to know about how to catch any fish, where to cast your line, and what bait to use. I swear he should be on one of these fishing shows. Nathaniel is 20 years old. He graduated in 2022 and recently returned from serving a 2-year Christian service mission to the Philippines, where he learned Tagalog and a few other languages that I just can't pronounce. He's currently preparing to attend college at Brigham Young University, Idaho, where he will be studying bioengineering. I tell you all these things about the boys because as Army dependents, they rarely, if ever, get any kind of accolades. Yet they serve too. They waited along with their mother while I deployed or went away for various different training missions. They jumped at the sound of the doorbell as well, or the phone ringing, not knowing if there would be a uniformed officers on the other side of the door. They missed having their dad at football, basketball, baseball, and soccer practices and games, at scouting meetings and campouts, and at basic things like Dad's Day at school, for example. They had to worry when their dad came home about how things would be. Would the transition be okay? Would things return to normal? Would Dad be struggling? Would he still be able to spend time with them? And on and on and on. These young men supported their mother, and of course me, through every deployment, every training mission, through everything. They lost friends they just made, or had had for several years. They had to move every 3 years or so, and a couple times at almost a moment's notice. So to my boys, guys, I'm so proud of the young men you are, and for what you are doing, but I thank you for being awesome sons. I love each of you more than you know, and I couldn't be more proud to call each of you my sons. So to quote General Colin Powell again, we have seen war and we have seen peace. We have seen suffering and we have seen the promise of democracy. And I will insert here the promise of freedom. We have seen hope mixed with danger and uncertainty. We have seen the path open to a better world, and America will continue to lead the way to that better world. I stand here and give credence to God, my Heavenly Father, and Jesus Christ for the opportunities I've been afforded and for the abilities I've been given to fulfill those opportunities. I also agree with General Powell that America will continue to lead the way to that better world as long as we are a righteous nation. I've long said that our military must lead the way. We must be the best citizens our nation has to offer. We must be exemplar in everything we do. We cannot allow the military, and of course in our case the U.S. Army, to be a cesspool. But that our members must be above reproach. We cannot be ordinary citizens. I've stated before that we must be an uncommon lot. Well, I echo that again here today. We must be uncommon. We must be uncommon in everything we do. Uncommon in our valor, in our citizenship. We must be uncommon in our profession and in our values. We must be uncommon in how we act and treat our fellow men and women. And we must be uncommon in how we wear the uniform and represent the United States of America, the greatest nation on earth. As such, we must have a military. We must be those who stand for our nation in a manner that will invoke the blessings of Almighty God. Again, General Powell said, the aspiring nations of the world trust the United States. They need the United States. They need our leadership. They need our economic strength. They need our value system as a model to learn from. They need our military strength, and they need our military commitment to help keep order and to help prevent aggression. We know that America's armed forces will continue to have a busy future, busier than days gone by. I think you can look at the forces in our military and recognize that they are what I've stated here. We are above reproach. We have values that stand for something greater, that really are the basic founding principles that this nation was founded on. So as we sit here on this beautiful morning, and I hope it's raining outside, is it? I love rain, by the way. A lot of people don't. I love rain. From Washington State. Sorry. As we sit here on this beautiful morning, elsewhere, American soldiers are serving in or on outposts in Iraq and Afghanistan. Yes, we still have people there. In Syria, in various parts of Central and South America, in parts of Africa, and likely several other countries I don't know about. The Army also continues to stand watching Korea and Europe. And at the heart of each of these is a young American man or woman, a well-trained volunteer, proudly serving a nation wherever and whenever that nation calls. Again, one more time, to quote General Powell, these men and women carry on a tradition of over 200 years of service and sacrifice. They go into harm's way to protect us and to provide for the common defense. They are the best and the very brightest of America's youth. And one of the great honors I have had was the honor of being one of them. And I echo that. So many will stand at this pulpit and say that they have no regrets for their 20 to 30 some odd years of service. But I can tell you, after serving in every NCO leadership position, and many of them in combat, I have a few regrets. From those who felt that their service didn't mean much or who didn't receive the thanks they deserved, to those who received lesser awards than they deserved or lesser rating on their evaluation that would have helped them. And then especially to those who never came home from combat, some of which I called close friends. I regret every misstep and every missed opportunity to help or recognize those individuals who in their own way went above and beyond. I regret the missed opportunities to let some devoted parents know that their son or daughter was excelling, or maybe more importantly, needed some help and encouragement. As a leader, there are some battles with my leadership I lost and some I won. I'm proud of the times I went toe-to-toe with a senior leader over something I felt was necessary, or someone who needed to be recognized properly or treated better. Though I have no regrets about those battles I lost, I deeply regret the battles I didn't take up. The thing about military leadership, though, is not that you stand honorably or valorously in combat. That's expected. In fact, we want to avoid combat as much as possible. But to be ready for combat, and to be valorous and brave in our attempt to stand up for truth and right, and for justice, but also that we, regardless of whether we're right or not, we agree when we become leaders in this incredible fighting force to stand. Sometimes just standing when the times call for it is more important and powerful than anything else. For there are far too many who will shirk at the weight of the moment when the moment is heaviest. America needs those who are willing to stand. And regardless of all those times and things I regret, I can honestly say I did the best I knew how. And I tried in every case I could to stand and be counted. I love this country. I love my family more than anything, and I love my God. And I love each and every one of you. May God grant us peace and prosperity, and let it always be on His terms. I thank each of you again for coming. Thank you.
Since you're already standing, remain standing for the Army song. The words are in the back of your programs. This concludes our ceremony. Thank you all for attending. Please join us in a receiving line at the front of the auditorium to congratulate the Man Sergeant Major Retired Newell and his family, leaders in excellence.
Hopefully you guys get some good quality time together.
It's been an honor to know you both as a spouse and serve with. So wish you guys all the best. What great stories about your boys. That's awesome.
Setting the stage for us. Good luck.
Great example. So wish you guys all the best. Take care. Congratulations. Probably already
It's a sweet. Thanks for
keep that one for future. Garth, we're talking about when you were texting me while he was hanging out. When he was like, I was like, Dan, he was texting me the entire time you were doing the thing. That was awesome. That was hilarious. When we were I love the past. San Antonio. We were in San Antonio for the conference. You were texting me the whole time. He's like, Dan has no idea it's your brother. No clue. It was hilarious.
I'll see you guys at lunch.
Yeah, thank you.
You still haven't come see me before you leave.
Yes, I do. This afternoon.
No, not this afternoon. How about tomorrow? Okay. Nice to meet you, man. Good luck.
Hey! I just left it on video. Just leave it right on video. That's fine. Good to see you guys. And you as well. Great job. You did a great job. You remember me? From Washington State?
He was my commander, my company commander.
I probably had shorter hair back then. Yeah.
And no beard.
Yeah, no beard and no beard. Great to see you. You both did a great job. That was amazing. I got a jet though.
I really appreciate you
But
coming.
yeah, of course. But have fun in Arkansas.
Touch. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
National security week. Great seeing you guys. They're gonna notice. They'll notice if I'm out.
Definitely great to meet.
So good, so good. Token of our appreciation to you. Great speech. Thank you, sir. Thank you for what you did.
Wonderful. We're gonna take a picture though. Give me a minute. Okay, so maybe we'll do a selfie.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Sir, you'll do great. You'll do great. You too, ma'am.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Decisions.
Good luck. All those times you talk about being away, are you really ready for them? Yes. That's good.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It's so smart to have your wife speak also. Oh my gosh, that was outstanding. So I could identify with so much. I have 4 Eagle Scout boys. Awesome. Well, congratulations to both of you.
Say it to both of you at the same time.
Yeah.
That's
Real short, but.
extra time. We'll be there. We'll get those.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks so much.
I'm so happy.
Turns out we'll come to tears. Thank you. Really say
He was one of the CSMs in San Antonio.
and we were in Korea together.
Retired. And we were in Korea together, yeah.
I beat him by a couple of Enjoy.
We will.
Give me a call later.
Yeah, we will. I appreciate it.
Really outstanding,
Thanks so much.
outstanding speech. Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I know, man. I gotta tell you, I'm on conference, so I've been a little bit late. But I come bearing gifts. You're gonna love this. Don't open it now. They say, well, you can open it now, because I want you to open it. This is very cool. Hello. I want you to see this. It's very cool. You're gonna like this. We were talking about, just pull out that piece right there, the big piece. It is a phone charger. Well, look. And you can plug it in, you can put another phone on that, you get two phones on it. Later on,
That's outstanding. Thanks so much.
he's got future in politics.
I had you named in my speech.
If you move to Virginia, you can vote once on Prince William. There it is. I need you in the
I will.
You'll keep in touch. I got you.
Absolutely will.
And so
Come down to Arkansas sometime?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, you got some seats on the fish. Kind of fish? I'm real. I'm real. Okay, I don't want to hold up the line. All right, brother. Yes, sir.
I love the tie, by the way.
Thank you. I tried to put that on for you, a little something different. Greatly appreciate it. Great speech. Yeah, hers was better.
I know.
That was
That's
phenomenal.
why I had her do it.
Congratulations, you have them all the time.
Yeah.
Thanks for your service. I'm looking forward to it. Good story.
Tennessee.
Take it home.
Broken. Leave it to him. Is there anything else? Did I carry anything else on? Here. Thanks for coming. Yeah. I hear that you're not too far behind me.
Not too far.
Not too far.
So it's been submitted. Let's see if it gets accepted.
What you guys would have done without
I know,
that.
right?
I know, I was like sitting there, like,
It's the miles.
it's already been answered. God is ahead of the game.
That's right.
Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
It was a pleasant speech here. So I was like, oh, I should be recording this. These are all the attitudes before. Our PYSC, like, we were just always so happy to come around. Wonderful thing about you. Our thoughts of everyone else enjoy. Yes, yes. So, thank you for all you do. Hello, I'm Aisha. Congratulations.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for sharing from with us.
Oh, man, that's
So we appreciate it.
good for you. Good for you.
Beautiful down there.
Thanks for that awesome prayer. I really appreciate it. Congratulations. Well done. Thank you. I love your speech.
the officer there. I met you at the gate. Just started talking.
So am I. So am I.
I swear to God. Tomorrow.
I got a dentist appointment first thing in the morning, then we take out.
You gotta get free before you go. That's right. Safe travel.
Sorry, Major.
Sorry, man. Take care, man.
Thank you so much for your leadership.
I mean, what is my pleasure? I know.
You guys gotta come down to Arkansas sometime.
I actually, where Walmart is located, what's that called? It's near,
Yes.
Cantonville?
Yes.
Yes, but there's a army post in there.
Yeah, it's Fort Chaffee.
Fort Chaffee. I went and did an exercise down there, and I really like that area. Is really nice.
gorgeous.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's close to you guys, but we were.
It's an hour and a half, something like that.
There was an Arkansas football game.
Yeah, right? At Fayetteville.
Yeah. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you.
It was great. No, this one was amazing, and that piece that you did, that was a special touch, and it was really great.
Well, I just wanted to honor my wife somehow.
Yeah, that was perfect.
And feel like just, everybody always says, I love my wife. Of course I do, but I wanted everybody here to see her.
Yeah, that was special. So, great luck, and, good luck. And, yep, and if you still need anything, if you still need anything, just reach out. I'm still here.
I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you for all your service. Thanks so much for Thanks so much.
Congratulations on everything. Wow, you get your husband back now. So we're relinquishing him, you give him back now, so have fun with that. All right, y'all. We named all your boys. I thought I was. I thought I was going to hear an Isaiah. I have heard it. I was like, oh, here comes another one. But, so, yeah.